So I will say that I'm quite happy that you voted upon this film as my next watch, because I do like Sylvester Stallone. But that being said, does this film pack a punch like Rocky? Or is this a film from Stallone that will make me moan? Is this a movie that should be committed to the electric chair for crimes against cinema? Let's talk about it. So welcome back to the channel, everyone, and welcome to this unwatched movie review. Yeah, first time watch for Stallone's Lockup. I haven't ever seen it. Came from that era of Stallone, Schwarzenegger, things like that, that I don't know, some of their films just didn't interest me at the time. And thusly, I'm revisiting some of these unseen films now, voted for by you. Now, this film overwhelmingly got voted upon with 52% of the votes. We also had, what else did we have there? We had Zulu, I think that was about 23% maybe, and then we had Days of Thunder, which came in last, as you can see. I may have the numbers a little bit skewed with there, but there we go. So this film here, Lockup, did I enjoy it? We're going to explore that question now. This film here was released in 1989 with an 18 rating and a 1 hour and 49 minute runtime. Here in the UK, it was actually released on February the 2nd of 1990. The film was directed by John Flynn, who has directed some other stuff as well, including Out for Justice, starring Steven Seagal, with a script written by Richard Smith, Jeb Stewart and Henry Rosenbaum. The film had a budget of $24 million and worldwide at the box office only went on to take $23 million, so it didn't recoup its costs. But I'm guessing over time, considering sales of physical media, rentals, the film would have come in and made a profit. The film stars Sylvester Stallone, obviously, as Frank Leone, Donald Sutherland as Warden Drumgoole, John Amon as Meisner, who you may recognise from Die Hard 2. Sonny Landham, who plays Billy in Predator, has a role as an inmate named Chink. And Tom Sizemore, a very young Tom Sizemore, the late Tom Sizemore, as Dallas, as well as a wealth of other recognisable talent within the movie. Now, this is an interesting film in that this is a film that was made because Sylvester Stallone had a break in filming between two other films, and they thought to themselves, we could knock another film out here, we could get another film in the bag for Sylvester Stallone. And there was this idea going around, you know, about this geezer wrongly incarcerated, all this sort of a thing. So the film was made very quick. It had no script at the point of being made. They had the idea and the script was pretty much rushed out and all this sort of thing. But did that affect proceedings? Let's just talk about it. So this film here, obviously, we're introduced to the character of Frank Leone. He's an individual who's a moral prisoner. He gets released and has to come back into the prison, you know, because minor crimes. And he's close to the end of his tenure in behind bars. However, one night he gets transported to a maximum security prison. He doesn't understand why until he sees the warden, who is Donald Sutherland's Drumgoole, who is a warden from a prison where Stallone had actually escaped previously, because the warden wouldn't allow him to come out and see someone that he knew that was dying, all this sort of stuff. So this warden wants to get back at Stallone's character, at Frank Leone, and that takes him into his high security prison, and it's going to give him hell, and wants to manipulate the situation into him now attempting to break out again, to do something, to you know, he's pushing him to his limits so that he can find an excuse to extend his prison time and all this sort of thing. And Stallone's there, he has to put up with all this crap, and then he has to ultimately attempt to escape this prison. Yes, now Like I said, this film runs for 1 hour and 49 minutes. I don't feel that it overstayed its welcome whatsoever. It's a well-directed film. It was an enjoyable ride. It was an enjoyable ride, if not somewhat predictable. All right. Now, I like Stallone, and there's a lot of great cast members within this film, a lot of great actors, and I don't think anyone delivered a poor performance at all. I will say of Tom Sizemore's character, when he first popped up, Christ, he was annoying. His you know, for the first maybe half hour of him being on screen, his time in the film, I probably said, this is one of the most annoying characters I have ever seen in a movie. I just want you to shut up. That's what I thought. I enjoyed this film. It's got an interesting premise. It's got a premise that you can be drawn to watching. Now, the music in this film was scored by Bill Conti, who had worked with Stallone on, obviously, the Rocky films. And it does show in elements of the film. There are elements of Rocky that you can hear in the musical score. So it's a film that I enjoyed. It's a fun film. However, I found it to be very, very predictable. These are my main concern with this film. Now, I may not have found this had I watched this in 1989 or 1990, and I would have seen it in things that come after. But there's certain cliches in prison dramas that this film either created or touches upon. But like I said, I'm sat here watching it now in 2023, not in 1990. So for me, I've seen a lot of other prison stuff, TV series, film, and it just follows a certain narrative, characters with certain cliches in writing, shall we say. Okay, as soon as Tom Sizemore's character popped up, I sat there with a wife and I said, he's going to double cross him. He's going to be a double crosser. He's going to be working for the warden or something of that ilk. Thusly, that came to pass. Yes. The young lad that was brutally killed in the gym. You could see it was being set up. Stallone meeting this young lad, wet behind the ears, needs someone to look up to. Stallone being essentially like a father figure to him. Again, straight away, I said to the missus while we were sat there watching it. Now, she's seen the film. I haven't. I said, he's going to die. He'll get killed. Thusly, he got killed. So, in that sense, there was a familiarity in the writing, that sort of cliche of prison films. I'm pretty sure that if I go back and watch things like Escape from Absalom, no escape, Fortress, you know, Prison Break, things like this, Shawshank Redemption, these are all cliche type elements that probably come into play in most of this stuff. So it's unoriginal in that sense. But was it original at the time? I don't know, because I wasn't there watching it at the time with context, other prison stuff. So I'm watching it from this perspective now. I love Stallone. I think he was great in this. You know, for me, I think Stallone surpasses Arnold Schwarzenegger as an actor. Certainly as an actor, he does. Stallone can give a good performance, and he does here. He's a likeable character. Yeah, a solid film. A solid film. I wouldn't say it's one of Stallone's best movies. But it was fun. It was fun, nonetheless. I couldn't understand why the electric chair was wired up at the end. Obviously, this is a prison without any, you know, it's set in a state where they don't have the death sentence. This electric chair isn't in use. They say as much in the film, that this chair, the warden has basically brought this chair back as a memory of a time gone by, of, you know, and restored it. But why would you restore it with full working capability? I understand restoring it as a sort of you know, a memory, but as a working electric chair, that makes no sense whatsoever. But there we go. That's just a little nitpick about the film that bothered me at the end. Yeah, and I will say that the character of John Amon Meisner, his character, fella from Die Hard 2, I could see off the bat that, again, this was a character that came across as being nasty at the beginning, but would do the right thing towards the end of the film. He would have that change in character. So yeah, a bit of predictability in the script. But there we go, fun film, and thank you for voting upon this one. Now I've got to give you 3 other unwatched movies to vote upon. So let's find them. Okay, so I've had Days of Thunder in the voting for some time now, and it's never been voted upon. So I'm going to reject that one just for a while, and we will come back to including that into the voting polls at some point. But I'm going to give you a bit of a mix-up. I'm going to throw in Zulu again, because again, Zulu ain't been in as long as Days of Thunder, but it's had a couple of missed opportunities. So there we go, Zulu. Second up, I'm going to throw in the movie Donnie Darko. Yes, I've never seen Donnie Darko. I have it in the collection. It's one that I bought as a blind buy, never got around to watching it. This was some time ago, so there's that. And one that I picked up just the other day for Matt, but it was the wrong edition, so I'm lumbered with it. Not that that's a problem, it was £1, and that is Fight Club, Brad Pitt. Yes, again, I've never seen Fight Club, believe it or not. I know that people rave about this movie. It just didn't interest me. I just had no interest in it. But there we go. So 3 films for you to consider, and in a week or so's time I will put up a poll for you to vote upon those movies, and which one I should watch and review next as an unwatched movie. So this is AJ again. Thank you for everyone who voted upon Lock Up as this watch for me. Yeah, it was a decent film. It was a decent film. And that's me done. I shall see you all later. Take care all, and goodbye.